What's good, everyone? This is your boy, Waysome. I'm coming to you from Miami, and this is the first installment of Rhythm and Process. So as I mentioned, this is hopefully the first of what will become many of videos and content that I'll be putting out. The goal of this is to provide you a story and background of some of the music that I plan on dropping over course and time. Some of you may know, some of you may not know that I produce music. I've put out some projects in the past, including a couple of instrumental albums and a compilation album. So what I wanted to do was provide a bit of context to some of the music that I'm gonna be putting out in anticipation of the listener having a bit more of a connection with the song. So rather than me just putting out a song on Spotify or Apple Music or whatnot and saying, hey, go check it out, I want to give you a story behind the actual songs and how the process came. For the first song and the first record that I wanted to introduce is a song called I Still Love H.E.R.
Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop. To the beat, y'all, and you don't stop. Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop.
So if you're a hip hop fan, you will probably know that the title I Still Love H.E.R. is a play on the song I Used to Love H.E.R. I Used to Love H.E.R. is a classic hip hop song released by Common off his Resurrection album. This was released back in 1994. It was produced by No ID. Before I get into that song and tell you the story about how that song came about, I need to rewind back to 2023 and start from there. So Cassius King and Jeff Johnson reached out to me, and they had an idea of what they wanted to do, a series of songs that paid homage to some of the classic hip hop songs from the 90s and the early 90s, late 90s, and kind of like paying homage, tipping the cap to. So the first song that they wanted to do was 23 Till Infinity.
Yo, what it do is Cassius King of the almighty Coach Life crew. I'm with my man Blue, Jeff, Definite Mass, and Donnell Smokes. You know he's dope. Right now, we just posted in the studio. We hail from Southern California, Pico to San Pedro. Sometimes it gets a little hectic out there, so we gonna put y'all on to how we just chillin'. Like, Nucka, can I proceed for my proceed?
Now, if you are a fan of hip hop, again, you would know that this is a play on the title 93 to Infinity, which is a song released by Souls of Mischief, which is, to me, it's a top 10, if not top 5 classic hip hop songs of all time. It's got an iconic beat to it, and it's just, for me, I think it's one of the dopest records to be made in the hip hop. So what the premise was is that they wanted to incorporate the same sample that was used to make 93 to Infinity to create our own song, 23 to Infinity. So the sample that was used for that song was a song called Heather by Billy Cobham. Where I played in is that I needed to make a beat that incorporated that same sample. I made the beat for them, and once I sent it over, I got the feedback from Cash and Jeff. They both were feeling the beat, and they're like, yeah, we're definitely gonna rock with this. The song is really dope. You should check it out. That is on streaming platforms if you haven't had an opportunity to listen to that. I produced the first half of the beat, and Cinnamon to Graffiti produced the second half of the beat. You had Cassius, you had Jeff, you had Blue on it, you had Scotty Sterling, you had Definite Mass, you had Donnell Smokes. It came out really dope, and again, if you have an opportunity to listen to that, go check that out. So after we finished 23 Till Infinity and released that, the next song that was up was I Used to Love H.E.R. / I Still Love H.E.R. The sample that was used for that was a song called The Changing World by George Benson that was released in 1974. So once I used the beat for I Still Love H.E.R., I sent it over to Cash and Jeff, and again, they both really liked it. They thought it was really dope, and they're like, yeah, let's rock with it. So that was around like late 2023, 2024. What happens sometimes in music is that a lot of times, and it happens in art in general, a lot of times you create something and it gets put on the shelf. And you hear about unreleased music, you hear about unreleased beats or unreleased art. And a lot of times ideas don't necessarily get executed right away. So the beat got put on the shelf due to other projects that we were working on, which includes an album that me and Cassius are going to be coming out with this summer called Greatest Album Never Heard. Cash is working on other projects, I'm working on other things, and just life goes on as well. The fact that we didn't work on I Still Love Her wasn't indicative on how good the beat was or how good the song was. It just didn't happen at that particular time. So fast forward to February 2026, around that time, we're finally finished with our album, the Greatest Album Never Heard. We're ready to release it, but prior to releasing it, we wanted to put out a kind of like a one-off single, not necessarily related to the album, just to kind of generate a buzz, just start putting out music again. So when Cash came to me, he's like, yeah, let's do that. And yeah, I want to put out something, and rather than just put out the album, I'm like, all right, cool. It's a good idea. So as I'm thinking of beats that I can make or ideas, he came to me and he's like, you know what? I actually still got the I Still Love Her beat. I could write to that. He's like, I think that beat is incredible. So let's rock with that, and then we'll write to that. Then less than a week, he came back with a recorded version of his own to the song. The song was absolutely incredible. The way he did it was perfectly. It epitomized perfectly how the song should be in 2026 from a rapper of Cassius' stature. So when Cassius sent me back the beat, I was just constantly listening to it. And it's not only as a producer and someone that made the beat and just really trying to critique myself more than anything else on the song and see what I could do and what else that could be done with it. I was just listening to it as a fan because he's got a lot of quotable lines on there, and it just came out really, really dope. It's a down-tempo beat compared to the 94 boom bap-ish version that Common and No ID did, but I think it still encapsulates the energy and the storytelling that Common did in 94, and I feel like Cash just executed it perfectly as well. As I'm listening to it, he sent it to me sometime in the morning, and I was listening to it all day. Producers will know, you do every single test, right? You're listening to it on speakers, you listen to it in your headphones, you listen to it on your computer, you listen to it in your AirPods, you're listening to it in your car, you do the car test as they call. So I'm listening to it as a fan and as also critiquing myself. So as I'm listening to the song all day, in the evening I finally go home, and the same day as I'm listening to this song, I get home, my wife and kids are about to have dinner, I sit down with them, and my wife likes to unwind for the day, and hopefully the kids will unwind at the same time. So what she does is she puts on relaxing 80s playlist, which has all the 80s R&B, slow ballads, which we are familiar with, we can sing along to, and then it also relaxes the children as well. So there was one particular song that came on, which is probably, in me personally, one of the biggest 80s songs to come out at that particular time. I'm not gonna say which song it was because I want you to listen to our song, I Still Love Her. So as the song's playing, I'm singing to it badly, singing off key on notes and all that, and my kids are telling me to shut up. At least my 3-year-old was. My 1-year-old can't talk yet. So as the song's playing, you get to the outro, and as the outro played, I just stopped. And I just stared, and like, as the outro was playing, it's like one of those moments where something just kind of like, I don't know, falls in your lap, or like the light bulb goes off. This is absolutely perfect. I need to use this. Like, this is absolutely incredible. I know that we're supposed to use The Changing World with George Benson, but this beat switch for this song in particular would be really, really, really dope. I haven't heard anyone that's used it. Maybe it's for legal purposes or whatnot. I'm not really sure. The outro was a perfect fit for what we were trying to do, what we were trying to convey on the I Still Love Her beat. So as I'm thinking about this and have that 1,000-yard stare where I'm just totally focused on this outro and what I can do with it, I have my kids trying to get my attention, and unfortunately I'm just in this particular zone. You ever have one of those habits or tics where you don't realize you have it until you see your own kid do it? And my son does that as you're playing new music. He'll just sit there and stare. But the only difference is he does it to super simple songs and nursery rhymes. So I get to Cash and I hit him up and I'm like, look, just do me a favor, right? Just send me the vocals on the record. You don't have to send me the whole beat. Just send me your vocals. I got this idea. I want to try something now, do a little bit of a beat switch and see where it could work. And I need your vocals to see how it meshes in, and I'll send it back to you. If you like it, then we can rock with it. If not, then look, the regular version of the song is dope enough. So the next day, I worked on the new beat. I sent it over to Cash, and then he immediately thought, yeah, this is crazy. So we needed to get the song mixed and mastered. So we sent it over to the engineer Tro, who did an incredible job on it. Shout out to Tro on the mixing and mastering side. I remember vividly where we completed the song on Wednesday. I sent it over to Tro for him to mix it. And I remember that Friday was the biggest release of that week, which was J. Cole's The Fall Off. And I'm walking the dog on Friday and I'm listening to J. Cole, and then I get far enough to hear I Love Her Again. So I'm like, oh, that was my first reaction. It's just like, here we go. So I texted Cassius immediately and like, Cash, did you hear the J. Cole album? He's like, yup. He's like, yeah, I heard I Love Her Again as well. Cassius actually talked me off the ledge because one thing we didn't want to do is make it seem as though we're trying to ride on the coattails of a wave that J. Cole brings with him. This was purely coincidence, and ironically enough, this is the reason why I started to make these stories and make this content and make these videos, because I didn't want to release the song and just it being that, and just being, like I said, Cassius talked me off the ledge with it, and he was just like, look, there's like 80 rappers that have done versions of I Used to Love Her and homages. We're just doing our own. So, you know, it calmed me down a bit, and I was just like, all right, yeah, no problem. And we looked at it more in a positive way, saying, you know what, then ultimately this is the reason for the video that I'm creating right now, is to tell you the story of this, the fact that it's just a coincidence, and we're not trying to say that we did the song before J. Cole or vice versa or whatever, because I have no idea as to when J. Cole wrote I Love Her Again. He could have wrote it back in 2010 for all I know and just never released it. Going back to the story of sometimes music and art gets put on the shelf for any particular reason. The point of this is that it's just a pure coincidence, and I like to think great minds think alike. It is an iconic song, and it is really a dope idea. So that is the story of I Still Love Her. Now, I appreciate you watching this video. Check out the song. Let me know what you think of the song. Let me know what you think of the beat switch. And let me know what you think of the video. I mean, I'm putting out a lot of music soon, so I want to be able to connect with the audience and connect with you and tell you stories about how I am inspired by particular music, how I'm inspired by particular people. And I want to share with you the process of how the music is made rather than just putting the music out there. And a big shout out to Cassius on the record. And again, me and Cassius yeah, we're doing some exciting things, and we're really looking forward to putting out some music for you. We got an album coming out, like I said, it's greatest album never heard. I can't wait to introduce that album to you guys. In the meantime, check out Cash's new album, Water to Wine. It comes out on June 5th. It's an album that he's putting out with producer Big O out of London, another really dope producer. Until then, I appreciate your time, and check out I Still Love Her, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
She tackles her passion with confidence, dominance. I'm not the only one she loves, that's common sense. She don't rap Hollywood, more like Inglewood, loved in every single hood. She polyamorous, and her wrist do shine, do the trapper do crime, getting her feelings and she drilling, ain't too pretty to do crime like a villain. Impure was the cure that had you healing from the illin'. She took care of us since we was little children, got turned into a fiend for the greed.